Today we have a familiar candidate on the table. It is my personal dethatcher. Well, kind of my personal. It's a long story, but anyway, it's a dethatcher. But problem is, it's a story. Let me tell you this story. Problem is, I was using this for like an hour. No problems. Fuel was getting a little low. I was like, that's completely fine. I'm going to store it after this anyway. Not too concerned. However, next thing I know, a neighbor of mine asked me if they can use it. Yeah, not a problem. I put a little more gas in there because they're a little bit more than just a neighbor. Let's just put it that way. And took it over, tried to give it a start. Now, mind you, I literally turned this off. They heard it. They asked if they could borrow it before I put it away. I had a gas can out. In fact, there's one next to that one. And next thing I know, I put fuel in, walked it over, literally 2 houses down, and now it can't start. It will run if you put starting fluid down it, so we're probably dealing with a fuel issue. I'm thinking a fuel blockage. Maybe it was getting a little old. I don't know. I know the fuel's clean, but maybe the stuff on the bottom. Last time I used it was in the springtime. Yeah, springtime, I believe. And it was non-ethanol. Should have been fine. It was stabilized non-ethanol, so I don't think that's a problem. Could be, but who knows? We're going to take a look at it and see what we have going on here. Took the cover off. Just a couple 5/16ths. And taking off the muffler. The reason why is... Oh, there's another one on top. Anyway, the reason why is how this ends up working is this is the jet that controls the fuel, obviously. There's an easy way of doing this, and there's a hard way. Because I know this isn't really bad, it just stopped working some oddly enough reason. I'm assuming the pump has probably gone bad. Potentially. It ripped, got clogged, don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the muffler, and we're going to take off this whole side plate. Just 4 screws. Put another pump on, which is just like a little diaphragm. And we're going to take this out, and we're going to blow through the passageways while it's still on the tank. Also remove this, just makes it easier, just a crank vent. It's not needed though, but like I said, it will make things a little bit easier. Ooh, there we go. Let's see what we have. It's a lot easier when it's not on one hand. I mean, I wouldn't say this is horrible. Still gonna replace it though. I'm gonna put a new one on, just 4 screws, put the new one on, make sure that the spring is facing the inside of the carb, this little ring to cover it so it doesn't damage the rubber, and that's it. So I think we're kind of... Before we do that though, I think what I do want to do is there is a little bit of fuel in here, probably like right about there. What I want to do is I'm going to take these pieces, put them away. I'm going to take out the needle, or the adjustment needle. Pretty sure I said needle, I mean screw. Different years will have different style of carbs. This one is a adjustable version. There's a non-adjustable version. There is that one. And what you're going to have to do is pretty much just, there's like a little jet in there. You have to take it out. And that, I think, is hitting something. Let me work on that a little bit. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look very dirty. So like I said, I'm just going to take my air compressor and blow in here. Warning, there's a very high likelihood of fuel just erupting everywhere. So if you don't want to get soaked with fuel, put like a paper towel on the top, definitely on the side where we have the pump. There will be fuel just erupting from there, so be careful. I don't really recommend doing this with high pressure. I think I'm in my air compressor has like 60 psi in it, and I'll just use a little bit of that, and that's it. Just real quick bursts. And then in addition to that, also going to blow into these two passageways. I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just take it off? Well, one, I'm in a little bit of a hurry, and two, it was running, so I don't really think it's super dirty. It was literally running for an hour, so there's probably some type of blockage. And three, oops, I don't have a base gasket, so if I took it off, the likelihood of me damaging it is pretty high. I don't really want to have to wait for this. This isn't a very elaborate machine. It's always going to be running. The tines, the only thing that really engages it is this handle, lowers the front end. That's where the tines are. Starts grabbing, that's it. So right now you can have over the concrete floor, doesn't matter. But put that new diaphragm pump in, blew out the main. I have it set to 1.5 turns out. These are going to be a little annoying to start to begin with because you have to pump the fuel. I'm going to try. If it doesn't go within like 2 or 3, I'm just going to take a little carb cleaner or something. I don't want to deal with that nonsense. But we have choke on. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's right. When you blow fuel, that will happen. Well, turn it. I would hope it would say, or I wouldn't have to say this, but could be a little loud. It is a machine designed for literally ripping stuff. I'm going to put the cover back on. Like I said, 4 screws. We're going to let this run for a moment or two. I'm going to turn you back on, and then I'm going to take a flathead, and I'm going to kind of do a final tuning, and we'll be done. Here's something I've seen a few times. Notice this cover has like a little ramp on one side and the other side's not. That's opening, that's for the air. Don't put this facing the exhaust. On this one I think it'd be pretty hard because it won't actually fit. But in other versions like this, the muffler is a little bit different. So it's possible. I've seen that a few times and it's kind of laughable. Probably not going to do too much. I mean, it's a 5 horsepower Briggs. It's not like you're working with anything super fancy. But I'm going to let it run so you don't have to deal with that noise. Well, works. Don't really have to tune anything. So I'm happy about that. Well, considering that it works, I'm going to leave it at that. Have a nice night. Subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at SmallEngine101. I'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Have a good night.